Well, hello everybody. Lives. This is a very, very important one for all Canadians. There's not big news on it. There's not going to be. But let me tell you, I posted a regular post an hour ago, and it was funny, myself and Tina sitting together. She's researching a number of areas. I'm researching others in oil and economics, something I do every day. And we cross paths in news. Mary Simon and Queen Elizabeth II to go forward with the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, all for oil, all for Canada and the narrative going forward for UK. They want oil release, make up the shortfall OPEC for Russia sanctions by Joe Biden. Release the pressure on everybody in the Commonwealth, every Canadian, and absolutely all for Joe Biden's Green New Deal. Where does the Green New Deal come from? Well, it's Prince Charles and the royal family, ladies and gentlemen. It's why Justin Trudeau has Mary Simon accompanying her on this video presentation to those of OPEC. Sound familiar, Canadians? Oh, but it's a Green New Deal. We don't need any of that oil either. Oh, it's not like that. But that's exactly how it is. Joe Biden canceled the pipeline from Alberta to the United States so that in the event of any actions they do against OPEC or anybody else, Canada's completely cut out of any kind of offset. All of it completely and entirely. Because apparently, Canadians, you don't mean a hill of beans. It's all to make sure you pay. Your pockets are emptied and you don't provide any resources forward worldwide. You are off limits. But in places like Qatar, I can tell you I have personal family members from the oil field, personal to me, so personal in fact, siblings. One worked there for a number of years, right, for that ruling regime. And guess what? Women, ladies and gentlemen, zero. You're zero, you're nothing. Everything Justin Trudeau says in feminism doesn't exist, none whatsoever. You go there, you're in a compound, fenced area, you're not to be around the public, you're not to influence men of any kind, you're kept isolated in secrecy, and should you get out, you usually get attacked. That's what happens. This isn't fiction, this is absolute reality of those countries. Wrong, I believe, but I am not in those countries. I don't follow those countries' laws or religions. But when you go there to work there, you find that all true. Now Mary Simon, which is basically Justin Trudeau's crown, it's his literal crown. Queen Elizabeth is taking her along with her to talk to these princes and foreign royals who have no regard for a lot of human rights or little at all, if any, regard for women. None whatsoever. Completely opposite of what Canada supposedly is. But that's better. That's better than Biden going back on what he's done for, in fact, the royal family. Now, Eastern Canada, Canadians, this has been going on forever and a day. We don't trade interprovincially. Less than 10% of everything produced in Canada is traded back and forth between the provinces. We only trade north and south of the United States. And the United States, under Joe Biden, said, you will not produce any more oil. You are to be grounded, put to a halt, because we're doing the Green New Deal via the royal family. You can read this, the Commonwealth Charter 2012, where every Commonwealth country gave up their rights to any international narratives, including trade, to give to the royal family because they know better. That's better for Canada, apparently. Apparently that's better. So they're going to negotiate, but here is the other side of it. ladies and gentlemen. The punishing blows to Russia by the Biden administration, by one Justin Trudeau, and absolutely led and endorsed by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who in her wealthy, elite, first-class white family who believes they're gods over all of you, Jesus isn't real. They are. They're real. They're Jesus. If you believe in Jesus, you're in violation of the royal family. You're in violation. God gave them the power. They're in charge of all your souls because they're empowered by God. Just ask any of them, they'll tell you. At Christmas time, Queen Elizabeth gave this mighty address, Merry Christmas, I am your Jesus. That's literally what she says. It's sick, it's perverse. And Justin Trudeau's crown power with Mary Simon, he sends her, which is the crown customary law of Canada, meaning not democracy at all. And in fact, flies in the face of America. Now, Joe Biden isn't going there. He could care less about Canada. He must follow America first. He won't beg. He won't get it anyway. But let me tell you what's happening on the other side of the equation for OPEC. And those in that Southeast area, Asian world, the Arab world, let me tell you what they're saying. They've decided it's better to go with the Chinese narrative after what USA's done on behalf of Joe Biden and the Green New Deal, all the shocks they've done to the OPEC trading partners who value Russia. They're saying, you know what? We don't really like USD anymore. We have a highly valued product. China wants it. Lots of world countries want it. We're not losing any money. If you don't believe me, look at the last 2 years of Iranian oil and everything they have done. They have not suffered a lick. Not a lick. Not so much as a spank on the bum. Not so much as a spank on the bum. Meaning they've been invincible. Invincible. So what does that mean for Russia? I would say the same thing. No, Queen Elizabeth II is going to get told to pound sand. And so is Mary Simon. Go back to Trudeau. I don't know what possibly they could offer except for slavery and servitude. We've lost the Alberta Wheat Board. That was traded over to those folks. We've lost much of Canada, traded over to those folks. Not that they've done anything wrong. I'm just saying, Canadians, you've given away much of everything you've ever manufactured, built, established here in Canada. Telecommunications is a freaking huge one. But there's much, much more. Your food security. Now your energy security is long gone. Long gone. Administered by conservative liberals because they want the crown for themselves. Why is Elizabeth II negotiating for Canada? Where's the UNSC? Oh yeah, Canada's out of the UNSC, meaning we have no democratically governing body, not a House, not a Senate, not nothing that can go forward for us on any international relations. None whatsoever. We have an Inuit by the name of Mary Simon, who has strong ties to the Hudson Bay Company. Look at the history of that. First Peoples, are you getting scared yet? You should be. Canadians, are you terrified yet? You should be. And Queen Elizabeth II, who apparently has no ties to Canada, is going to go negotiate for us. Wow. Wow. How mighty have we fallen so far, so fast, so radical agenda fast, that the NWO just got a swift kick in the ass. Such a devastating blow that even the ancient Queen Elizabeth II is going to try and salvage something. Joe Biden's going to be thrown out on his ass come midterms. But the damage to Canada is permanent, irreversible. There is no party currently set up in Canada inside our constitutional design that will be favored anywhere in the world. We're garbage now. We must rely solely on the royal family. That's not worked out well for Canada at all. How we went from then, 1952, to now, and in just a short marginal time, Canadians watching Emergency Measures Act over no real violent protests, the War Measures Act equivalent, being implemented. And now all of a sudden we got Mary Simon, Governor General of Canada, and Queen Elizabeth II begging for Canadian salvation from the OPEC producers, all underneath Russia. This beating that largely is going to be just Canada receiving, and the UK is going to receive it too, all the citizens of the UK. In fact, a number of Commonwealth countries, but none as worse, fundamentally worse as Canada. Canada is to take the tremendous beating. USA refuses to step in. They can't. They won't. It's against everything that's written in their constitution. They do rhetoric. Politicians all the world shout, scream, sing, song, dance. But when it comes to the UNSCP-5, a UN state never puts themselves out there and in this massive capacity. Ambassador Zhang Jun of China tweeted out about it in Chinese. I had it translated over as best I could, and it clearly talks about never letting countries get involved in the business of the UNSCP-5 because they become basically fodder. They're not to be exploited that way. Canada was exploited that way for China. Devastating results. It's not over yet. Now Russia, we went way over the line. Sponsored by every political party, went into the Ukrainian conflict zone in absence of all and every international law telling you not to. You never take a UNSC member on. Russia has now sanctioned Canada and all our politicians. We are powerless, meaning all the effects of all the US imposed sanctions, the UK sanctions. The reality is, folks, USA and UK can walk away from this in a day, 2 days, a week, a month, or 2 months from now. Canada can never walk away from this. Never. Not as we are, and it would take a pile of groveling. United Arab Emirates is ready to dump the USD in oil and transform their entire system. All the OPEC major players are ready to do that. They are not down with the crown, not that crown, and they're definitely not down with Joe Biden and his war on Russia. We are the big losers. Anyone telling you otherwise is a total liar. Justin Trudeau is going to have to dig deep, and I don't know what he could possibly offer the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait. Do you guys remember Kuwait? Do you remember going to them, Saudi Arabia? What exactly are you going to offer them in all of your massive propaganda media posts against those OPEC countries? What could you possibly sell to them or give to them from Canada to make this go away and substitute Canadian oil and the losses of Russian oil with their oil? Because somehow that's better for Canada. What in the hell have we become? This is not fake. Any outside expert, true political analyst looking at this today in economics and law must just be going, oh my God. Canada says nothing. Your media tells you nothing. This is devastating. It's beyond all measure of humiliating. And it screams second world status for Canada. When do the parties say enough's enough? Our South Africa style system, our Nazi Germany style of system, our crown colonial system, that's what it really is. That's what birthed the Nazis. It what births these weird alt-left, alt-right groups. It's what does it. It's the crown, the constant propagated bullshit that has no place in this world. It hasn't since 1945. And Canada still goes, getting browbeat, brutalized. Justin Trudeau has literally turned us into that post-national state. When you're down to Mary Simon, the Inuit Governor General, and Queen Elizabeth II to bail you out in trade relations with countries who hate your guts, you know that you're pathetic, you're a joke, and your country's garbage. I'm Canadian. It's devastating to watch this unfold, and in a record amount of time. And if you think Conservatives, NDP, Bloc, Green, PPC weren't all down for this, they were. And they all would have narrated the same thing. Like somehow this is a winning formula in 2022 or any time before 1945, but brazenly going forward because Joe Biden signed on to the Atlantic Charter 2021, and that means the great power of the Commonwealth. Are you on crack? Are you on glue? Do you not see the world for what it really is, as it really operates? Doesn't operate like that. Hasn't operated like that. Doesn't matter how many perverted, sick, first-class citizens in a complete minority of this class structure say, deem, and worship. They will run away on planes before they're left holding the bag. If you want to look at examples throughout this world, I can point to Venezuela. How does it feel being what we are today? How's it going to feel in a few days from now, the weeks from now, the months from now, when the world moves on, but Canada can't? What part of our souls in the soulless nation, the nation without a real constitution, what is going to happen to the people? That's my video. It's sad. Tucker Carlson, Fox News, Donald Trump Jr. for Donald Trump. It's out there. This is the video. I hope that somebody has the gonads to look into this, to complete it, to make it mainstream. I don't know if it will. Is that how sick the world is? The USA owes us nothing. They narrate themselves, they follow a constitution, they do it. Good or bad, bad decisions made. The choice to elect Joe Biden, clearly the worst decision America's made in a long time. Joe Biden embraced the crown. It's down to Mary Simon and Queen Elizabeth II. Wow. Swallow the costs. Swallow the destruction of your people. That's what it's going to be. And it's forever and a day under this system that needs absolute revamp. Trust the crown to ruin you. That's what you can say about Canada. And now you're watching it unfold. All the Arab OPEC nations are going to turn them around and laugh in their face, unless they have some sweetheart deal to sell off massive shares of Canada's crown lands and all the production value there. Is that what they're going to promise? It's been done before. How much more of Canada is going to go overseas? How much more? I guess we're going to find out in the next coming days. That's my video. All corruption by the crown. Down with the crown. How could any Canadian left, right, whatever you narrate yourself, how can you justify any of this today? You can't. You can ignore it. You can say it's not real, it's not truthful. You can't provide any documents to back up what you state. All you'll find is the truth. Everything I publish is the truth. We're in some serious hot water. Thanks, that's my video. Bye now.